good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. All right, hey everybody. My name is Zarinah Elamine. For those of you who are new to me, I am a cultural anthropologist and the founder of the Book Power Method, which teaches entrepreneurs, new authors, people who have a message and they want to get it out there into the world. I teach them how to quickly get their ideas out of their head, down onto paper, and out there. Today I'm going to be doing a free training, and I'm actually going to do something that I don't often do with anybody except my clients. So I'm going to go behind the scenes. Now, I'm going to also try to go on to Instagram at the same time. So let's see if it works. First of all, let's make sure Facebook is working. Can you guys hear me? Can you see me? And I'm going to go to live on Instagram at the same time. Let's just see. Bada boom, bada bing, bada boom, bada bing, bada boom, bada bing. All right, I think it's good to go. Okay, hey everyone. So welcome, 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 welcome. If this is your first time joining me on a training or joining me live, my name is Zarinah Elamine. I am a cultural anthropologist and serial entrepreneur from Detroit, Michigan. And part of the ways that God uses me is that God uses me to help people get their ideas out of their head and out there into the world. And that's oftentimes right now, currently with books. So that means that people come to me when they want to write and publish a book, and I help them do that. Also, people come to me, or I should say, God uses me when He wants to help people connect to the world. So a lot of what you'll hear me talk about is travel, culture, all of those things. Those are all within my wheelhouse, if you will. All right, so today I am going to do something that I don't often do. I'm going to pull the veil back, if you will, behind the scenes of our recent release. All right, so normally I don't talk about these type of things with people outside of my clients, but today I decided that's what I'm going to do. All right, so I'm going to be looking kind of back and forth. I don't know if I can actually move this way so that hopefully Instagram and Facebook will be close together. I haven't gone live on Instagram, I think, probably in over a year. So we shall see. We shall see. All right, Zainab. Hey, you all. Let me know where you're joining us from. As always, we believe that we are creating like an energetic field, if you will, between me and each and every one of you all. So whenever you catch somebody on our live, I want you to imagine that you are connected to that person energetically. All of you all are here with the same idea. You're listening right now with the same idea that you want to do something in your life that helps to improve the lives of others, right? Regardless of whether if you know you want to write a book or not, right? At this moment, the more than likely you are someone who wants to do something or continue to do some things that helps you to improve the lives of other people. Can we agree on that? We agree on that. All right, Rochester Hills. Hey, sis. Munira, thank you for joining us. All right, so we got Instagram and Facebook going on at the same time. So today, you guys, today, I am going to, I forgot my notifications were on. Let me see if I could turn this down because my notifications be on bump and I don't want them. Okay, there we go. So today, first of all, let me just take a deep breath. I am so excited and so proud that this book right here, this book that I'm holding in my hand, is actually out there and in the world now. This book right here has been a labor of love. Baby, let me tell you, it has been a labor of love. So I'm going to give you a little bit of the background, and then I'm going to tell you exactly what we did to pull this book together. Now, I'm telling you this because this type of book may be something that you want to do. You may want to put together this type of book. So I'm going to pull back the veil, if you will, to help those of you who have been thinking about writing an anthology or compiling an anthology, letting you know how this type of thing comes about and how it actually gets done. All right, that makes sense? Cappadocia, my photographer! Yay! Those of you who all know, I just came back from Turkey. Actually, I have on the t-shirt. Look. I have on the t-shirt. So that's my photographer. from Cappadocia who did my photo shoot, and he's joining us. Awesome. All right, so this book right here, At Their Feet. If you don't have it, head over to Amazon and grab it. First of all, Amazon has discounted the American version, so it's only $7.54. It's listed at $20, and they've discounted it for Black Friday or something, and it's only $7.54. Bada boom, bada bing, bam. All right. So, this book, At Their Feet. Can you guys see how dope the cover is? First of all, At Their Feet. 50 Black Muslim elders share stories of life, faith, and community life. Faith and community life. So, in essence, my father asked me one day in the room, he was like, Zarinah, I want you to interview me and some of my friends and, share our stories, talk about what we did to build the mosque, talk about how we built communities and this and this and this. And I was like, okay, that sounds doable. That sounds cool. But in true Zarinah fashion, since I'm a overachiever, some may say masochist, I decided to do it bigger. And so we put together this project so that we can have a book of multiple people, not just my father and a few of his friends, but multiple people who have contributed to the evolution of the Black Muslim community. Black American Muslim community. So I am a big proponent of sitting what we call at the feet of our elders. I like old people, and I don't say old in a disrespectful way. I like people who are seasoned. I like people who are wise. I like people who have gone through some things and can share those things with me. You know what I mean? I like to sit at their feet. And so in essence, we call this At Their Feet to remind us to reverence the wombs, meaning our leaders and our elders and such that have borne us, right? And secret fact is, before this book was called At Their Feet, it was called, anybody know? I don't know if anybody knows what this book was actually going to be called before At Their Feet. It was gonna be called Before I Die, right? Like lessons and secrets, not lessons and secrets, but lessons from the elders before I die. And the reason that I had first named it Before I Die, was because my mother had just died a little bit before. And I was like, there were so many things I wish that we could have asked her. There were so many things I wanted to know, things like this. And I was like, we got to get these people before they die. We got to get the information before they die, or else it's going to be 6 feet under the ground, And so that was the idea. That was the thought process, to call this thing Before I Die and then compile their stories. Now, I'm comfortable with death, pretty comfortable with death. My father ran a funeral home for many, 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 many years. And so I'm accustomed to talking about death. I'm accustomed to talking about the afterlife and, all of that kind of stuff. But not everybody is. And a lot of people was like, Chick, that sounds morbid. Z, like, you need to change that, because before I die, nobody want to be thinking about that. Like, you're going to call up an elder and say, hey, I want you to write an essay, talking about before I die. You know what I mean? So they were like, that sounds a little bit morbid. So I took the advice and I changed it to another, beautiful name, At Their Feet. Okay. So did you take the lesson from what I just told you right then? I hope that you're picking up the lessons while I'm sharing the story of how this book came about. Because, right, what I said that I had an idea in mind, right? We expanded the idea to do a book. But then I also said that before I finalized the actual topic, before I finalized the actual title, I ran it by a couple of people. And I got feedback from those people that was invaluable, right? So sometimes you may have something that you think is just like the dopest thing ever. And sometimes you may want to just slow down just a little bit, pull back, talk to some other folks, get their input on it. So nobody said scrap the idea, that's a stupid idea, or that just sounds mean or whatever. Nobody said that, but they said, hey, you may want to tweak the language a little bit. So you always want to make sure that you don't just go like full speed ahead with an idea like this that doesn't only impact you, but impacts a number of other people. All right. There's a difference to putting together, my own story and maybe the audience is going to be small, and I don't really care if the book sells or not, I don't really care if it makes an impact, then I can just go without doing any market research at all. I can just share whatever I feel like talking about, do whatever words, say however I want it to be without doing any type of market research. But this book right here is not about me, right? This book right here is not just about me. This book is about the community. And it's 50 other people who are represented in the book, in addition to the other ladies who helped me edit and pull the stories together. So it's not just about me. So when you're thinking about a project that is going to be bigger than just you, it makes sense to slow down a little bit, do some market research, talk to people, get their feelings about your project and your idea so that you can improve it and make sure that it really pops. Does that make sense? For those of you who are here right now, does that make sense so far? Does that make sense? All right. Sister Daima, assalamu alaikum. Yay, awesome. Ann Arbor, Michigan. Brother Omar, awesome. So Detroit to Ann Arbor, hey. And Detroit all the way to Turkey, hey. Good, Manira. I'm glad that you're getting something out of it. All right. So hopefully what I've said so far makes sense because y'all didn't let me know. Y'all didn't type it in. I don't see any comment over there. So I hope that, okay, thank you. I hope that what I said makes sense so far. Okay, so I did some market research, right? We talked to some other people about this idea of putting these stories together. Now, here's the idea, right? We want to interview these elders and then we want to compile them. So first of all, we had to define who are we trying to interview for this project, right? Who are we trying to interview for this project? You too may have an idea. You need to know exactly who do you want to be in the book. So for this book, we wanted Black Muslim elders, okay? Black Muslim elders. So what is an elder? You know, some people it may be 60, some people it may be 70, whatever. In this case, we originally said 65 and up, but it ended up being more like 61, 62 and up. So there was some flexibility, right? So what we did in the end was that we had 3 different ways that people were able to contribute to the book. Some of the stories in the book are written by the individuals themselves. So some of the elders wrote up their own story with our guidelines, right? We gave them guidelines, a word count, and some ideas of what they could talk about. We gave them some guidelines, some guidance. They wrote up their own stories and then they submitted them to us. All right. So that was one way that we got some of the stories. They wrote up their own stories and then they submitted them to us. Another way that we got some of the stories is by partnering with a project. Dr. Elisa Perkins, do you see her name down there? Bam, bam, Dr. Elisa Perkins. So Dr. Elisa Perkins is working with a project called the Detroit Muslim Storytelling Project. What's the full name? What's the full name? I think that's the full name. The Detroit Muslim Storytelling Project. You see that? Can you see that right there? So they were doing a similar project to our project of trying to capture these oral histories and such. And so what we did was partner with them, and they had already done some stories. And so they submitted some of their stories to this volume. So some of the stories are in partnership with the Detroit Muslim Storytelling Project. I forgot exactly how many we have from that project, but Dr. Elisa Perkins was like a little angel with this. Like she was an angel. So again, I hope that you're picking up what I'm putting down. What I'm saying with this is that I had an idea. My father had an idea. He asked me to implement or make the idea come to fruition. We did that or started that process. But quite frankly, this was a book that I put my own, money into to get done. It wasn't like a client was paying me to do this book. And it was like his idea, right? And so I was invested. I really wanted to get it done. But I also had other clients that I was working with. And so I was like, oh my God, it's a lot to do. Blah, blah, blah. And then God sent an angel to help get the project done. I don't take that lightly at all. But the angel would not have come if I had not started and taken the steps to actually move the project along. So some of us have an idea for a project, whether it be a book, event, campaign, business, whatever. You have this project and you're like, oh my God, it's so big. I can't do it. Blah, blah, blah. And you allow that step, that thought of it's being so big and you can't do it to just bam, like stop you and paralyze you from moving any steps at all forward, right? You allow that to stop and paralyze you. And quite frankly, if I had done that, this wouldn't be here, right? This wouldn't be here if I had not done that. So if I had done that, allowed my thoughts of how it's going to be overwhelming and all that kind of stuff to like stop us. But God rewarded me with an angel, right? God rewarded me with an angel because I took steps and moved forward. So what does God say? God says that never going to change the condition of a people unless they can change their heart first, right? Like the people don't get changed. There's no movement that really happens unless they actually start and do it first, right? They have to take steps first. I take that into the process of creation as well. You're not going to get assistance and help and such, from outside if you don't take any steps. So for those of you who have been having ideas, whether it be a book or whatever, and you've just been putting it to the side because it's so daunting, it's so big, I can't do it, blah, blah, blah. And then you're wondering why no angels are coming to help you. It's because you ain't even helped yourself yet. You need to help yourself first. And then other people will start to come. Bam, bam, bam. And that's what happened with this book, right? That's what happened with this book. Munira, yes. Tie your camel and proceed. Yes. Yuri, yes. You can ask questions here. Sister Daima and Zainab, yes. Awesome. All right. So I hope y'all taking mental notes if you're not taking physical notes, because what I'm sharing with you all oftentimes isn't discussed. I'm a teacher, I'm a coach. So naturally, I'm going to kind of pull back the veil and give you the nitty gritty details that you wouldn't normally hear with something like this. Typically, you would just be like, the book is out, go buy it. And then, come to a book signing or whatever, but you wouldn't hear all these little details or whatever. Yes, the idea to go on wings. Assistance will come from all directions. Your friend Joe. Okay, which Joe? Because I know a lot of Joes. But I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad you're here, Yuri. All right. Please save this live. I don't know how to use Instagram. I'm not even going front. I just pressed the button live because I usually go on Facebook. But I said today I was going to try to do it on Instagram, since I had the Facebook thing going. So honestly, I hope I know how to save the live, but we shall see. All right, Mansoor. Wa alaikum assalam. Yes. All right. So what did I say so far? So far I told you that, we wanted to do this project. I told you how we got the stories. I told you two of the ways that we got the stories. One was that the elders themselves wrote up the stories and submitted them to us, right? Two is that we partnered with another project called the Detroit Muslim Storytelling Project that was doing some oral histories. The project is phenomenal, you guys. They've done 60, 70, 80 different oral histories where they trained youth to go and sit at the feet of the elders and interview them and pull out the information through these beautiful interviews. And then that's what we took, edited, and then created a story that could go in the book format. Super duper dope. Now, the third way that the stories came to the project, the third ways is that some family members or a friend would interview the elder and then they submitted the story for us, right? Because, you all know if you have somebody that's 82, 83, they may not be able to write out the whole story and submit it, right? So in those cases, some of the elders' friends or family members interviewed them and they wrote them up and then they submitted them to us. And that's how we got all of the stories in the book. We ended up with 50. And I actually have a few more that are going to go into volume 2. So if we do it extensively, it's going to go into some more volumes, right? All right, let me pause and see. Are there any questions so far about what I've said so far? Any questions that you all have, you can type those in and I'll try to make sure that I cover and that we've made sense with that part so far. Now, so we had all of these stories, right? All these raw stories or whatever. actually, sorry, there's 4 ways that the stories came about because there's one more. You see this name right here, Aya Rashid. So pretty much, in full disclosure, I got overwhelmed and I was like, life, I got overwhelmed. And so I hired someone else to come in and help me with the project. So I hired Aya Rashid, and Aya Rashid had background with writing. She had background with like community development and such. And so she also interviewed some of the elders herself. So I told you family and friends did it. Yes. But I also hired somebody else to go and do some additional interviews. And she interviewed them and wrote up some of the stories. And that was so 4 different ways is how we got all 50 of the stories. 4 different ways is how we got all 50 of the stories, right? So now we have all these different stories, right? And for this particular book, I wanted them to be on a variety of topics. So we didn't say you have to talk about Hajj, or you have to talk about your conversion to Islam, or you have to talk about family life. I wanted to give them the platform so that they can talk about whatever the heck they felt like was useful for us to know about. So in the book, you have people talking on a lot of different subjects, some business, some family, some love, some Hajj, some travel. You have like their thoughts and ideas on a lot of different subjects. It's literally like pulling up a chair or sitting on the floor in front of an elder and like just listening to them talk or whatever. So that's what I really love about it. So, but we have all these raw things. And at this point, when you're putting something into a book, you do need to make sure that there is some cohesion, right? Like you got to make sure that the thing makes sense. So when people open it up, it's like not like, they don't feel scatterbrained or whatever. So what we did in that case, right? So I know that we have all these different things. We pulled them all together. I decided that we're going to alphabetically organize it instead of trying to organize it by theme, because you can organize it in many different ways, right? So we alphabetically organized it. That way, everybody, it's not like any hierarchy or this trying to figure out where to place it, categories, all that kind of stuff. Just put them in alphabetical order. That's what we did. And then we started editing using our style guide. So my company already has a style guide. There are certain things that we do when we publish books that we do to make things consistent. So we applied that style guide to the book. However, we also allow each individual author to keep their voice. So we're not going to change their voice because it's not one author, it's 50 authors, right? And you want to make sure that you keep their voice. Yes, order yours today. And if you're in Michigan, it's only, or if you're in the United States, it's only $7.54 right now. So Amazon put it on Black Friday or whatever. So it's $7.54. And I'm so sorry I keep like jumping up and down with this. I don't have anything to put this higher so that I'm not in my office, so that it won't keep doing that. So I'll just leave it for this moment because I don't see anything around. All right. Okay, so there you go. So that's how the stories and such came about. Now, y'all have been asking me about the cover. Y'all see the cover? So dope. So dope. But let me show you right there. You see that picture? That's my father. That's my eldest son. You see his side profile. That's my eldest son, Sufyan. Can you see the back of his head right there? That's my middle son, Issa. This one right here is my daughter. Do you see what they're doing? They're sitting at the feet of my father, right? That's what they're doing. So on the cover, when I was trying to think about like, how do I want to put this cover together? I knew that I wanted to have my father on the cover for sure, because it was his idea. And I wanted to like visually portray this thing of, at their feet. But then I'm like, okay, should we make it be like abstract, or should we, like add lots of color? Like, what should we do or whatever? We ran around a lot of different ideas. And then I was talking to Dr. Elisa one day, and she was like, we definitely need to make a collage. And I was like, yeah, but I've done lots of book covers with collages. Like, I don't really want to do a collage. I'm tired of doing collages. But when I talked to our designer, so our designer is Yumna of Noor Design Company. She's a fantastic graphic designer. So I wanted to pull in for this book, I wanted to pull in an African American Muslim designer. Why? Why you think, right? Because the book is about Black Muslims, and I wanted to kind of have that theme throughout. So a lot of times, like when I'm hiring designers or when I'm hiring people to work on books, like editors and such, I'll take into account the background of the author, but also, of course, the background of the audience. And I try to make sure that it's going to resonate. So this cover needs to resonate, not just be something that I like. It has to be something that's going to resonate with the audience and with the people that are featured in the book. So what we did was that we ended up with a collage, but we also ended up with a collage that's kind of representative of this Arabic Kufic print. You see this? This is like a Kufic script. So Arabic calligraphy, which is essentially Muslimish, right? Has a Muslim feel. Arabic calligraphy, but in the Kufic script, which is this squarish type of script, and then in blackish colors. Like, don't y'all feel like, black when you look at it? I don't know. Y'all might say that's racist or something, but I don't know. What do you all think? I think the cover is super dope. I love it. I absolutely love it. And then here's the back, the back cover. I absolutely love the whole thing. So what we did was we pulled out some of the individuals that are inside of the book and then made a collage of them. Of course, my dad. Now, another secret. This picture right here, this part was taken by Tasneem Penn. This part of the picture was taken by a photographer by the name of Tasneem Penn. When we took the picture, only my son and my daughter, two of them, were present. When my oldest son came from Senegal to visit, I forgot to take another picture and have all three of them in the book, but I wanted to make sure that I had all three on the cover. This kid right here could care less. He don't want to be on the cover at all. This one right here is like, but you only see the back of my head, so he's kind of like, you don't even see my face. This one, she didn't say anything about it yet. But I wanted all three of the kids to be in the picture. So this picture, I took my son sitting on the floor, and then Yuna, the designer, actually added him to the picture of Issa and Isra so that I had all three. Can y'all hear that? Like, that is super duper dope. Super dope. So technology nowadays, you can do that kind of stuff, right? So we created this picture by adding Suf to the existing picture. And that is how we got this picture. And then I decided I didn't just want Dad to only be the person on the cover. I wanted to represent, the fact that it's an anthology. And so then, of course, we added some of the other people who are in the book. I love it. Now, this right here is a proof copy. So this has a lot of errors. And another secret, I published this book secretly like a month or so ago, and I had the price. Like, I didn't tell anybody that it was on Amazon or anything, so nobody knew. But somehow 6 copies of the book were purchased. And those 6 people got an early version because there are some errors in this one. So those 6 people, I don't know who they were, but they got like some early versions of the book. And the new book has some new design elements that are not in this version. So when you get the new book, you're going to see like some new design elements, and you'll see, I did this though. I'm super dope too. So I used like this, the design of the cover, the essence of the cover, and put additional elements like that into the book so that like you feel the whole thing feels cohesive. It's not just like, always every page like this. So that was how the design of thank you guys. That was how the design of the book came from the cover and then also into the interior. So Zainab says, I feel like the colors bring out the essence of the Black Muslim community. I do too. I really think so. And then Sister Diana says, awesome works for a cover. Yay, I'm a photographer. Love visuals. Thank you. The colors are awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. You're welcome, Munira. All right. So this is how the cover came about. Now, how many people here are thinking about writing a book or want to write a book or whatever? Some of you all may have some ideas of what you may want a cover of your book to look like. What we typically do here at Book Power Publishing is that we take those ideas from the author we see what they are thinking, the colors, the feeling or whatever. And then we make sure that that goes along with the theme of the book and the purpose of the book, the goal of the book. We make sure that all that stuff meshes together. And then we match them up with a designer that can bring that vision to life. So usually we give them a couple of different, you know, versions. They pick which version. We do the final tweaks, and then we're good to go. So it doesn't always come about that you're gonna come out with your like knockout cover the very first time. It may take you a couple of iterations in order to get a really good cover. Now, for those of you who go to like, you know, really cheap designers, and no shade at all, but for those of you who go to like really cheap designers, you can tell a lot of times like the quality of the design. A regular designer would not have been able to come up with the feeling that this book evokes. They may be an awesome, amazing designer. You know, I may pay $5, like Fiverr. Y'all be wanting to go on Fiverr and get a $5, you know, cover. But the feeling and the essence that I needed to be able to get forward, I wasn't going to be able to get that for $5. So I paid, you know, in order to get the feeling and the and also just to make sure that the integrity of the book. Like I said, it was very important for me to make sure we had a Black Muslim designer, graphic artist, and that's what came out. And I'm super duper proud of that. All right, Munira, I don't have the best grammar skills. Truth be told, nobody does. Y'all think Steve Harvey be writing all those books by himself? No, he has an editor. So we have gone over this book, and you may still find some errors in it. If y'all find errors, don't get pissed off. Just email them to me so we can fix it for the next volume or whatever, or for the next, you know, printing. But you know, we went through a lot of different levels of editing. So don't worry about that if you want to write a book and you don't have any writing experience, if you don't have a lot of grammatical skills and all of that, your job is to get the idea out of your head and down onto paper or in voice. You know, you can do a recording. That's your job. The idea definitely has to come from you. But the organization, even, and definitely the polishing can be done by somebody else that does have a really great way with words, right? Oh, and Sister Daima also said Grammarly. So that's a very good suggestion. Thank you, Sister Daima. So Grammarly is a program that you can upload to Chrome. And basically it checks like your words and writing and such, and it makes suggestions and gives you corrections and such. So you can use that. But for real, you're going to hire an editor. Like you're going to hire an editor, you're going to have a proofreader. Everybody that we publish their book, we always have an editor and also a separate proofreader, two different people. We have an editor and we have a proofreader that works on their book. So Jamina Shannon, hey, would love to hear your top 1, 2, 3 process for independent publishing once edits are complete. Jamina, do you have my book? I don't even have it right here in front of me, but the Book Power Method. So you can go to bookpowermethod.com. And in that book, I lay out a full 5-step process that I use with all of my clients that walks you through the entire self-publishing process from idea, right, all the way through to publishing, all the way through. Actually, I added a bonus, which is how to use your book to launch a location independent business. So I teach you in the book how to make your first $10,000 from the book, even if you sell less than 500 copies. And y'all may be doing the math like 500, I may make like $10, you know, $5 per copy. How do I get 10,000? So I teach you how to do that in the book as well. So all of that is in the Book Power Method. And also for you all who are newer to me, we're going to have a class. So we're going to have our full 6-week class is going to be starting up January, the Monday after January 1st, which is January 2nd. So we're going to have a 6-week class starting January 2nd. That's going to run through early February, where I'm going to be teaching you and actually talking to you all individually and holding your hand through this process of learning how to write and self-publish like a boss. All right, so that is going to be starting on January 2nd. Registration will be opening pretty soon. There'll be limited seats and such. So if you think you want to actually be serious and you want some help, then look out for that. All right. Sister Daima said, yes, a recording. Yep, you don't always have to write. You can record. Munira, so I just need an idea and contact you to help with the writing process. Yeah, if you want to publish, if you want to write, for real, yes. Go to if you're on Facebook, I don't really know how Instagram works. I still have to learn Instagram. I'm old. But go on Facebook. We have a group called Write and Self-Publish Like a Boss with me, Zarinah. And I'll be posting all of the registration information and such there. Of course, I do take private clients, but right now I'm really gearing up for this class because it's going to be super duper dope. And I want you all to have the same results that my other people have. All right, so Sister Jamina, I hope I'm saying it right too. I assume so. You're writing a song and poetry book. Awesome. Song and poetry book. So what will be super dope with that? Like you have the book, right? But then you have your companion website or maybe companion YouTube channel or something where you like, visually record it. And then you direct people from the book and vice versa, right? Like you direct people from the book to the videos and from the videos to the book. And it's like a bam, bam, 2-in-1 package deal, type of thing. That would be super duper dope. All right, so Daima, yes, I want to write and publish. So, what type of book are you working on? Is it a memoir or is it a business book? For those of you who came to the last training last week, Sunday, I talked to you about the first thing that you need to do when you want to write and self-publish like a boss successfully is that you need to make sure that you have your intentions and your goals set, right? Your intentions and your goals set. I'm not going to go into it all right now because I did a whole video on it last week, which is available on in our group. The recording of it is available in the group. All right. Zainab, I'm on chapter 1, Tent Life. Tent Life is about homelessness in the desert. Whoa. So what type of book is it? Is it a memoir? Are you going to be talking about your own life experience within Tent Life? Or are you going to be talking more of a journalist perspective, like you're shedding light, you're educating on that specific subject? Or could it be an anthology? Can y'all tell me how that topic, so you see how you can have a topic, right? But the topic can take a lot of different formats in book. So, I wish I could join in or whatever. But this is why I miss my live workshops where it's like I can hear you. And so last week, one person did join in. Yeah, Munira, go to Write and Self-Publish Like a Boss on Facebook and click request. There's like some questions and then we'll let you in. So can anybody see how you could turn Zainab's idea of writing on Tent Life, right? Tent Life about homelessness in the desert. So if it's a memoir, she is writing about her own experience in tent life, homelessness in the desert, right? That would be a memoir. If it is an educational, journalistic type of perspective, she would then, be teaching about that subject, have some introductions, talking about what is homelessness, maybe give some statistics, blah, 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 and then share about the different things that she's learned about ways that people get homeless, how can we stop it, all of that. And then some type of concluding, join to action cause or something that comes at the end, right? So that would be that type. Now, the other type, though, if she so chose, would be to do an anthology. So what do we have here? We have 50 Black Muslims, and each essay, each chapter is on a different individual. Tent Life could be the same type of thing, right? She could go around, introduce or interview 25 different people who have experienced homelessness in the desert, get their stories, and then the book is, individual stories. So you see how you can have an idea, right? And there's different ways of expressing that same idea, that same topic, that same subject. There are multiple ways to express the same idea, the same topic. Jamina, I am curious. What time is it, y'all? Because I don't want to go too long. I am curious about format options for a song and poetry book. Format. So options for a song poetry book. So I'll say this right now without knowing a lot about your specific things that you're thinking. One of the things that you can do, dang, I'm teaching more than what I thought I was going to go into. But one of the things that I encourage my clients to do very early on in the process, and if you don't have my book, go get the Book Power Method. Not just you, Jamina, but like in general, all of you all, go get that book because I'm going to be teaching out of that book. And what I'm telling you now is all laid out in that book as well. So you can go to my website, bookpowermethod.com, and get it there, which has a free download as well, or you can go to Amazon and get it. But one of the things that I really encourage my clients to do is to find what we call like a model book, right? You find a model book. And a model book is a book that's similar to what it is that you want to produce. It's not exact, it doesn't have to have the same topic even, but it has some elements that are similar to what it is that you want to do with your book. So you can search around and see, when you're an independent artist or when you're an artist in general, sometimes people get really caught up. Like, I can't look at any other books. That means I'm going to be stealing their stuff. No, you're not stealing their idea. Your idea is your idea. Your words are your words. But you can certainly look at how somebody modeled the material. The modeling of the material is perfectly fine for you to get inspiration from, and even copy that model. That's perfectly okay. For example, let's say I want to do an anthology. So I may come in here, read the introduction, see how this book came about. I may come in here and look, okay, so I look, flip open. All right, bam. On the first page, they have a graphic, here, right? I also want to put a graphic in my book. So I may add whatever graphic is appropriate for my theme, right? But I'm going to put a graphic there. Bam. Then they put the title. I'm also going to do that, right? So literally you can go through, and I want to come to the contents. So here's the contents, right? So we have a glossary. So I can say, you know what? I may need a glossary. Depends on your subject. But you look at what is presented here and see what you may want to do in your own book. So you're finding a model. So I see the stories here. I can go through, okay, it's 50 of them. I may look and see, you know what? Every story is about 4 pages. I like that. So I'm going to do the same thing with mine. It's stupid for people to try to reinvent the wheel all the time and try to be so creative that you're just making, I almost cussed. You're just making stuff hard for you, right? There's no reason to make things harder for you. It's perfectly okay for you to find a model book and then model your idea off of that book, right? Okay, afterward, and thank you about the team, share with us. So I can look through here and then I can see, they use, even like formatting stuff, they use a drop cap. You know what? I want to use a drop cap. Does it mean that you stole their idea? No. Y'all see what I'm saying? Like, it's just smart. And especially when you're working on your first book, you need to conserve your energy and you need to conserve your time. And you need to conserve your sanity. So a lot of that can be helped by making sure that you have a model book that is appropriate to what it is that you're looking to do. And then you can go in. All right, Munira. I listen to so many amazing lectures from women scholars and love their words, and I want to use it in my podcast, but feel, am I allowed? Do you mean like a quote? I can take a quote from somebody and say, I was listening to a podcast and such and such and such and such said X, Y, and Z, right? I can give that quote because I am appropriately attributing the information that I'm sharing to the source. This is very important. We always want to make sure that we are attributing the information that we are presenting to the correct source. So I won't say any words from a podcast exactly the way that they said them and then pretend that it came from my mouth, because it didn't, right? So you always want to give credit where credit is due. Now, you cannot take a podcast that somebody else, did and like pull out big chunks of it and just reprint it in your book. You don't have the permission to do that. Nope, you don't have the permission to do that. You can ask them for the permission to do it, but you don't have the permission to do that. So I can say instead of yes. So you can attribute the quote that you're giving to whoever said it. Yes. Folgers. Oh, no, this is my tea. Y'all know, oh my God, this is one of my favorite teas. Oh, it's so warm too. It's one of my favorite teas is Harry and Sons. It's the cinnamon tea. I should become a spokesperson. I actually used to want to have a tea shop. Me and my mom, we were thinking about having like a tea store. So this tea right here though it's a real cinnamon tea. There's no sugar in it. You don't need a lot of sugar when you have like real cinnamon because the sweetness comes from the cinnamon. So you can drink this tea. It's a black tea, so it has some caffeine, but you can drink this tea without any sugar. So for those of you who are like keto-ish or just reducing sugar or whatever, like you can drink this one and still be good. Cause your girl, I gotta break my sugar habit because I ate too much bread and like too much. I was having a good little time, and now my little thighs ain't so little no more. So I gotta yeah, tea and books shops. And I would have teas from all over the world. Y'all can take the ideas. People be like, this is another thing that come up. Somebody else says, somebody might take your idea. If somebody take the idea and put their own spin on it, it's not going to be exactly, mine anymore anyway. Or I could, if I decide I really want to do it, I could do it in my own way. So anyway, if I were to do anything, it would be teas from, different parts of the world, right? So I would have, teas from over here. I would have, chai from here and this 14 different types of chai. You know what I'm saying? That's how it would be. All right. Cinnamon tea helps blood sugar levels. Okay, I didn't know that. Cool. Zainab, I don't drink Folgers. Okay, Munira, it was great. May Allah bless you and make it heavy on your scales. Ameen, 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 ameen. I've been really making du'as and came across your page today. Well, welcome. I'm glad that you're here. I definitely am glad that you're here. All right, you all. So that's some of the background for how this book came about at their feet, right? This is an anthology, meaning that it's a compilation of essays. What does that also mean? Did y'all pick up that it's an anthology? My name is down here, but did I write every single essay? No, right? I did not write every single essay. I compiled and edited all of these essays. And in essence, there are 50 authors that are presented in this book, 50 different authors that are presented in this book. So I'm telling you that there are multiple ways, right, to get a book together. For those of you who are like, I don't even want to write nothing, you can hire a ghostwriter or you can do an anthology, meaning that you are the glue that holds all the stories together, but the individuals write their own stories. All right, the individuals write their own stories. All right, thank you all. You're welcome. Dun, dun, dun. First, Danielle was like, no. First, I was like, what you mean? No. But then I did ask you a question, right? Yeah, no, I didn't write everyone. And Danielle. So Danielle, tomorrow, you all, Monday morning, I'm going to be on Danielle Claxton's podcast. And forgive me because I'm forgetting the name of the podcast right now. But I'm going to be on her podcast tomorrow morning. She is a holistic healer. She does a lot in the community about like just cleaning yourself up and like really living holy and such, which is what I'm about to do right now because I told y'all I've been eating too much bread and too much sugar. So I'm going to be interviewing with her tomorrow on her podcast. Did you mention the interviews that you did online? So we did some interviews online, but actually those are not in this book. I'm going to start doing some interviews again. We lost some people. Some people we lost. They're no longer with us. They're no longer alive. May Allah have mercy on their souls and grant them paradise. So unfortunately, we lost some people. But the ones who are still present with us, I'm going to interview each of them like once a week, pull them out, open up, read some of their story, and then just really talk to them about the behind the scenes. Like when you said that man, kicked you out of the train, like what really happened? You know what I mean? I want to like pull it all out. Embrace. Oh, I embrace myself. I know that I'm cute, right? Which is part of the reasons why I stay like this sometimes. But my clothes was a little tight, and I don't want to be able to fit into my clothes. So that is she said I'm on my post Thanksgiving workout. I'm gonna have to do a post Thanksgiving 3 days, 72-hour water fast. My girlfriend is doing a fast right now, and I should have joined with her, but I didn't. So I am gonna. And if y'all know another personal trainer, like if you know a person, maybe virtual or real. I was really trying to find one real. I thought I had one, but it didn't work out. I have now determined that the same way people come to me because they know they need help with their book, I know I need to go find me a trainer. Like, look, chick, like go get you a trainer and get some help. That's where I'm at now. So thank you. I love you. But I want to ascend, right? I want to be my best self, which means that I have full optimized health. Yes, we need to capture their stories before they return. We definitely need to capture their stories before they return. Okay, fasting Monday and Thursday. Oh, here come all the tips. Fasting Monday and Thursday. I know for me, it's sugar and carbs, pretty much. Like if I reduce the sugar and carbs and play tennis, like I already like, I'm good. But that's also part of the thing. This is a whole nother subject. But like I won't go into it. I almost want to, but I won't. One day I'll come back and I'll talk about Turkey and the experience of going to Turkey and all of the aha lessons that I learned, in that. I won't go into it today, but one day I'll come back and talk about that. All right, I'm going to let you guys go. Love you all. Share your stories, write your stories. If you need help, we are here. I have a team of editors. I'm going to be hiring some new editors. We have a team of designers and such that can help you get your messages out there into the world. And our class, our 6-week class, is going to be starting up January 2nd. So registration will be coming out for that. So if you want some assistance, you want week to week to week help to literally learn this system of how to write and self-publish like a boss, I'm going to be teaching my book power method so that you all can be like power authors, whether that is writing a memoir or a business book, whatever your goal is, we're going to help you achieve that through the method that we already know works. All right. All right. Love y'all. No, I don't know Anissa Kasoon. I don't know Anissa. I don't think I know Anissa Kasoon. I have some cognitive issues sometimes. So I don't think I know Anissa Kasoon, but maybe I do. I don't know. Let me know who they are. All right. Adios, everybody. Okay, wait. I'm gonna stop over here first, and then I'm gonna try to make sure that the end broadcast